Welcome to Biography Central. You are listening to Life of Sri Ramakrishna, a complete biography. Chapter 49, Meeting with Pundit Sasadhar Tarkachudamani. On June 25th, the master came with Hajra to the house of his devotee Ishan in Calcutta and spent the morning there with Narendra and Rakal. In the afternoon, he went to visit Pundit Sasadhar Tarkachudamani at the house of one of his admirers in College Street. The Pundit was a Hindu preacher of great eloquence and erudition whose scientific interpretation of the Hindu religion was widely known. On his way there, the master plunged into Bhava Samadhi. He was cordially received, and the Pundit saluted him with great humility and reverence. The master took his seat, as did the devotees. Then he said to the Pundit, "Well, what do you lecture about?" Sasadhar, "Sir, I try to expound the scriptures. Sri Ramakrishna, in this Kali Yuga, devotion as taught by Narada is the best. There's hardly time to go through all the rituals enjoined in the sastras. Nowadays for fever you must prescribe a fever mixture, not the old indigenous remedies. While you are waiting for the old methods to work, the patient expires. So if you teach people rituals, you must tell them to adopt only as much of them as suits their requirements. Your lectures are having very little influence on worldly-minded people. You will soon find this out. The newborn calf cannot stand on its legs. You are unable to distinguish between a devotee and a man of the world. But that is not your fault. In a storm, it is difficult to distinguish one kind of tree from another. Prior to realization, none can give up rituals altogether. The flower drops off as soon as there is fruit. Devotion is the fruit, and rituals are the flower. The Sandhya merges in the Gayatri. The Gayatri merges in Om, and Om in Samadhi, like the chime of a bell gradually fading away. In alluding to Samadhi, the master fell into that state. As consciousness returned, he said, addressing the mother, "Mother, the other day thou didst show me Vidyasagar. I wanted to see another scholar, and thou hast brought me here." Turning to Sasadhar, he said, "My boy, do try to become stronger. Practice a little more. You have taken the role of a teacher too soon. But your intention is good. You want to help others. When I first heard of you," he continued, bowing to the Pundit, "I inquired if you were a mere man of learning or one of discrimination and renunciation. A scholar without discrimination is a nonentity. There is no harm in playing the teacher's role, if one has the authority from God. Such a one is invincible. One ray of light from the goddess of learning is sufficient to dim the brightest intellects. Moths come of themselves to a lighted lamp. They come in thousands, no one has to call them. Similarly, the man who has received the divine command need not issue invitations to his lectures. The magnet does not invite a piece of iron to come. It attracts automatically. Therefore, I ask you if you have the command." "Hajra, you must have had it. Isn't it so, Punditji?" The Pundit, "No, sir, I cannot boast of any such command." Sri Ramakrishna, "Of what value are the lectures of one who has not received the Lord's authority?" He exhorted the Pundit to dive deep into devotion. He said, "Infinite are the ways leading to the ocean of immortality. You have to plunge in somehow. Suppose there is a pool of nectar, and you will become immortal if you sip a few drops. Of your own accord, you may jump into the pool or descend the steps and leisurely sip the nectar, or someone may push you in. The result is the same. You will be immortal if you but taste the nectar. There are infinite paths. You may follow any of these: knowledge, devotion, or work. If you are sincere, you will realize him. If you realize the mother of the universe, you will get knowledge as well as devotion." The Pundit asked how far he had traveled on pilgrimage. Sri Ramakrishna, "I have visited some holy places." Smiling, Hajra went very far and climbed high up. He went to Hrishikesh. "I neither went so far nor climbed so high. Kites and vultures also soar very high, but they're always searching for carrion down below. Lust and wealth are this carrion. If you can attain to devotion sitting here, what's the use of going to holy places? And know one thing, however much you may instruct a man, there will be no effect until the right moment comes." The child, when it went to bed, said to its mother, "Wake me up, mother, when I am hungry." The mother replied, "Don't be afraid, my child. Your hunger will wake you up." Similarly, intense yearning for God comes only at the right moment. There are three classes of doctors. There are those who feel the pulse of the patient, prescribe medicine, and go away after telling him to take it. They form the lowest class. Similarly, there are some teachers who instruct a disciple, but do not care to see if those instructions are carried out. There is another class of doctors who prescribe medicine for the patient and ask him to take it. If he is unwilling, they reason with him. This is the second class. Likewise, there are second-class teachers who instruct the disciple and exhort him to act up to their advice. Lastly, there is the highest class of doctors who, finding that the patient does not heed gentle persuasion, use force to make him swallow the medicine. Similarly, there are the highest teachers who even use force to put their disciples on the path of righteousness. The Pundit: "Sir, if there are first-class teachers, why then did you say that there would be no effect till the right moment?" Sri Ramakrishna: "But suppose the medicine does not get into the stomach but trickles out of the mouth. What will the doctor do in such case? Even a first-class doctor is powerless there. You must suit the instruction to the requirements of the disciple. This you do not do. If a boy comes to me, I first ask him about his relatives. Suppose he has no father or is burdened with his father's debt. How can he devote his mind to God? Are you listening?" The Pundit: "Yes, sir, I am all attention." Sri Ramakrishna: "One day there came to the Dakshineshwar temple a number of Sikh soldiers. I met them before the Kali temple. One of them said, 'God is merciful.' I said, 'Indeed. How do you know that?' They said, 'Why, sir, he feeds us and takes such care of us.' I said, 'Is it a thing to wonder at? Isn't he the father of us all? If a father does not look after his children, who else will? Will strangers do it? Narendra, shouldn't we then call him merciful?" Sri Ramakrishna: "Certainly you may. What I mean is that God is our most intimate relation, not a stranger." The Pundit: "What priceless words!" The master was thirsty. A glass of water was brought, which, however, he would not take. He asked for another one. It was learnt later that an impure man had touched the first glass. Sri Ramakrishna, wishing to take leave, said by way of a compliment to Sasadhar, "It is a great day for me. Today, I have seen the new crescent." I have used the phrase purposely. Sita said to Ravana, "You are the full moon, and my Ramachandra is the new crescent." Ravana could not read between the lines, so he was very glad. Sita only meant that Ravana had reached the zenith of his power. Like the full moon, he had to wane. Whereas Ramachandra was the new crescent, he would flourish day by day. On June 30th, the Pundit with his elder brother visited Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. The master was often nervous as a child when a celebrated person came to see him. On occasions like these, he was conscious of his illiteracy, as well as fearful of the trances in which he lost control of his body. He asked some of the devotees to be present during the interview, so that they might engage the Pundit in conversation as well as take care of him. But as usual, the master forgot all these when Sasadhar came. He gazed at the Pundit for a while and fell into a semi-conscious state. "You are a scholar," he said. "Tell me something." Sasadhar replied humbly, "My heart is dried up with too much philosophy. I have come to you for a little devotion. Please let me hear from you." Sri Ramakrishna said, "Oh, what shall I say? None could describe the true nature of Brahman. It first manifested itself as a twin principle, half man and half woman, just to show that it was both Purusha and Prakriti. Descending a step lower, it separated into Purusha and Prakriti as distinct entities. He became animated as he spoke, sang song after song about the Divine Mother, and took the Pundit by storm. Gradually his emotions abated, and he exhorted Sasadhar to practice devotion with intense longing and prayer. He said, "Hearing is better than reading. One understands the truth better by hearing it from the lips of the guru or a real monk. One does not have to pay attention to the unimportant details in the scriptures. Seeing, again, is better than hearing. I mean actual realization. It dispels all doubt. The Sastras teach a good many things. But unless one realizes God, unless one has devotion to his lotus feet, Unless one's mind is purified, everything is useless. The Bengali almanac makes a forecast of the annual rainfall, but if you squeeze the book, not a drop of water do you get. The next day, the master thus told of his interview with the pundit to a devotee. Not entirely rid of my nervousness, I kept looking at him and listening to his words. Suddenly, the mother revealed Shashadar's inner self to me. I saw that scriptural erudition was of no avail without discrimination and renunciation. Then I felt a current rush towards my head, and the last trace of fear vanished from my mind. I was swept from my moorings and was dead to the outside world. Out of this mouth came an incessant torrent of words. The more I talked, the more I felt that a fresh supply was coming from behind, as at Kamarpukur, when a man measures grains, a fresh supply is pushed forward. I was entirely unconscious of what I said. When I regained a little consciousness, I found the pundit in tears, completely overpowered. Occasionally I have this experience. 3 days later, the pundit visited him again at Balaram Bose's house. The master said, "There are two tests of knowledge. One is a quiet nature, and the other, an absence of egoism. You have both." The pundit: "What sort of devotion is necessary to attain the Lord?" Sri Ramakrishna: "Devotion is of three kinds according to temperament. It has a sattvika, a rajasika, and a tamasika aspect. The sattvika aspect of devotion the Lord alone knows. Such a devotee loves secrecy. Perhaps he meditates within a mosquito curtain, so that nobody may know of it. As the crimson glow of dawn heralds the rising sun, so a man with perfect sattva is close to realization. He who has the rajasika aspect of devotion loves display and wants to make his devotion known. He worships in a royal style, goes to his worship room dressed in silk, and puts on a necklace of Rudraksh, set with pearl or gold beads. The tamasika aspect of devotion is like a band of dacoits raiding a house. They may attack with a husking machine to act as a battering ram and defy even a posse of 8 sub-inspectors of police. Kill and plunder is their battle cry. A devotee of this type madly shouts, "Hara Hara Harvyam Vyam," victory to Kali. He has a wonderful strength of mind and a blazing faith. The followers of Shakti have faith like that. They say, "Once I have taken the name of Kali, or Durga, or Rama, what sin can I commit?" One must have the tremendous faith that the utterance of his name burns away all sins. How absurd to repeat the Lord's name day and night and talk of sin in the same breath. Fired with enthusiasm, Sri Ramakrishna sang, "Mother, if I die with thy name on my lips, thou canst not cast me away in my hour of peril." The pundit was weeping. Sri Ramakrishna's words, coupled with his life of blazing renunciation, touched a tender chord in his heart. It was Kar Festival, Rathotsav, or Rath Yatra Day. There were songs and dances in which Sri Ramakrishna joined. At the end of the program, the master said, "This kind of thing represents the joy of spiritual practice. The joy of worldly-minded people is derived from sense objects, from the enjoyment of lust and wealth. When in the course of spiritual practice, the Lord is pleased to manifest himself, then comes the highest enjoyment, the bliss of Brahman." The pundit: "Humbly, what sort of yearning is needed to bring about this happy state of the mind?" Sri Ramakrishna: "This yearning comes when the heart struggles sincerely for realization." The teacher said to the disciple, "Come, I shall show you what intensity of yearning one must have to realize God." He took the disciple to a pond and pushed him under the water. Raising him up after a while, he asked the disciple how he had felt. The disciple replied, "Why, I was gasping for breath." The pundit: "It is quite clear now." Sri Ramakrishna: "Love for God is the chief thing. We need devotion." I hope you like this chapter. We need volunteers and sponsors to create content with even better quality and with more variety. If you wish to join this initiative as a volunteer or sponsor, please click the links given in description below. To help us reach more viewers, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Biography Central. Thank you for your time. It means a lot. Namaste.